Trick
Trick
or
or
Trick or
treat!
treat.
Welcome back to Movie Passport.
Today's episode is a terrifying one, like seriously the scariest we've ever done.
Yeah, you may want to grab a blanket to turn on all your lights before listening.
Because tonight we're talking about Coco, Edward Scissorhands, Coraline, and the Coven.
So basically, a lineup that could emotionally destroy a child but gently comfort an adult.
Exactly. Nothing screams Halloween like pastor supper's, button eyes, and family trauma.
Perfect combination. So buckle up. This is going to be Coise's scare of your life.
Let's go.
So I'll start with Edward Scissorhands. It's a Tim Burton film from 1990, and for me, it's one of those movies that just defines the Halloween mood. Not because it's scary, but because of the mix of gothic and emotional. Johnny Depp plays Edward, this gentle, almost childlike man who has scissors for hands. He's created by an inventor who dies before finishing him, so Edward's left incomplete, both literally and emotionally.
Right, and then he gets taken in by the suburban family, right? It with all those pastel-colored house and overly nice neighbors.
Exactly. The contrast is what makes it so memorable. He's this dark, fragile figure living in a world that's way too bright and artificial for him. At first, everyone's fascinated by him, his trimming hedges, cutting people's hair, making art out of everything. But eventually, they turn on him. He becomes the monster in their story, even though he's the only innocent one.
It's kind of sad, actually. Like it's not horror, it's loneliness disguised as fantasy.
That's so true. And I think that what makes it timeless. Even though it's over 30 years old, it doesn't feel dated. It's more like the original Halloween fairy tale. No jump scares, but all the melancholy atmosphere that came to define Burton's style.
Exactly. It's spooky, beautiful, and heartbreaking all at once. And I think that's why Edward Scissorhands still shows up every Halloween. It's not about fear, it's about how being different can feel scary but also beautiful.
Okay, moving from bittersweet straight up creepy. I will introduce Coraline, a stop-motion animation from 2009 directed by Henry Selick, and it starts off deceptively sweet. Coraline moves into a new house, bored and lonely, until she finds a small door that leads her to another world. A world that looks perfect, where her parents are nicer, food or tastes better, and everything feels magical.
Yeah, until you realize everyone there has buttons for eyes.
Exactly. At first, Coraline's amazed, but then her other mother tries to sew buttons on her eyes, basically to trap her forever. It turns out she's a witch who's been luring kids in for years and stealing her souls.
It's such a creative premise. And because it's stop motion, that tiny steepness in the moment makes it even creepier.
Totally. The animation adds the discomforts. Everything's cute and colorful, but little too perfect. And that makes the darkness underneath hit harder. It's fascinating because it looks like a kids movie, but the theme manipulation, identity, and trust they are really deeper.
And the idea that something can look ideal but still be dangerous. That's classic Halloween, right? Things on one day thing.
Exactly. It's not just scary, it's smart. Coraline reminds you that sometimes the scariest things are the ones that pretend to be perfect.
So mine's a bit different. I pick Coco. It's not scary at all, but it fits Halloween perfectly because it's about the connection between life and death. Miguel, the main character, is this boy who loves music, but his family has banned it for generations. When he sneaks into the cemetery on the Day of the Dead, he accidentally crawls into the line of the dead and meets his ancestors.
Right, and the colors in the world, it's so vivid, it almost feels alive.
Yes, that's one of my favorite parts. It's full of marigold petals, glowing bridges, bright lights. It's the opposite of what we usually think we when we imagine death. Through this journey, Miguel learned that death isn't the moment you stop breathing. It's when are forgotten. That message in his heart, remaining, remembering someone, is a way of keeping them alive.
That's actually really beautiful, and I think that makes Coco a perfect Halloween movie in its own way. It's not about fear, it's about memory.
Exactly. It's about life, a love, family, and legacy, remaining us that even in death, their music, color, and warmth. I love that it shows another side of the season, not just ghosts and shadows, but connection and remembrance.
Alright, so I'll take us back into the shadows. My pick is The Coven. It's a more recent indie film. Not full of jump scares, but it's got the slow, eerie build that fits Halloween so well. The story is about a group of students who go exploring in a forest where people say witches used to hold rituals. At first, it's just a joke. They're filming, laughing, but as night falls, weird things start happening. Symbols start glowing, whispers in the trees, and it gets under your skin.
Sounds like classic don't go into the ooze energy.
Exactly. But what's cool is that it's not just about being scared, it's about curiosity and power. The witches aren't really evil, they're misunderstood. By the end, you start to wonder who the real threat is, the witches or the people who disturb them.
That's interesting. So it kind of flips the usual horror formula.
Yeah, it's not about punishment or survival. It's about facing something ancient that you don't fully understand. And the cinematography really sells it. The forest, the candlelight, the way it all feels both cold and scared. It's quiet, but you can't look away.
That sounds like the kind of movie that stays in your head afterwards, even if it doesn't make you jump.
Absolutely. It's more haunting than frightening.
Now that we've gone through all four, I realized something. These movies might actually be pretty scary if you are a kid.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean button eyes, scissor hands, talking skeletons, not exactly bedtime stories.
And when they're into a haunted forest full of witches? Yeah, no way.
But for us, they don't feel just scary anymore. They feel nostalgic, like a reminder of how Halloween used to feel, a little weird, a little magical, and kind of comforting at the same time.
Right. They're not just about being scared. They remind us of what it felt like to be curious, a little spooked, but still fascinated.
Exactly. These films aren't just about ghosts or witches. They carry something deeper memories, emotion, and childhood imagination.
Yeah, maybe that's why they still work for us now. Because they capture the side of Halloween that's about atmosphere and memory, not just horror.
Totally. They let us feel that in between space where things are a little strange but still beautiful.
So maybe that's what Halloween really is, not fear, but wonder, not ghosts, but memories.
These films might have scared us once, but now they just make us feel connected to the season and to who we were back then.
Thanks for joining us on this Halloween flight to cinema.
This was Movie Passport. Stay cozy, stay curious, and have a hauntingly good Halloween. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.